Welcome to the Hard Truth Show. And guys, welcome to Seven Trumpets Prepper channel. And today we're going to talk about how many of us will not fit into modern society. Just stay tuned. Real quick shout out, April 5th. The details are in the video description below. If you're in the East Tennessee area and you want to join us for a fellowship, a get together and meet up for unleavened bread. Guys, make sure to do so if you're in the area. A shalom, much love to everybody in the building. We'll be doing a meetup. It's free to come. I'm trying to figure out like some food snacks that day or something like that. Try to figure out something like that. Yeah, you guys, you caught me live today. Much love to y'all. And so guys, I've got 20 points. I stopped at 20 because I mean, let's be honest. Here very soon, if you're a good person, you're not going to fit in society, period, anyway. But with that said, these 20 are like the big ticket items for me. Okay, these are the ones that really hit me hard and trigger me dealing with modern society. I'll put it at that. Okay. So with that said, before we get this party started, for those that's new in the building, we always stream on here on new moon days, 12 Eastern time. Try to always be in here about 12 Eastern time in the house. And we also stream either the night before Sabbath or the day of. And if you want to know how to keep up with the scriptural biblical calendar, you can do so by the World's Last Chance calendar app. Very handy tool. But I always encourage everyone also to, be observant of the lights in the sky as the Father put them there for our guidance. Guys, if you haven't checked me out over on Odyssey, make sure to do so. That is my Hall of Fame reel that I say that's over there, because that's everything that whenever I get in trouble over here on YouTube land for community guideline strike. Now, I have a theory that I guess if I stay out of trouble till the first of the 12th month of this year, I apparently will finally meet the qualifications potentially to get my silver YouTube play button. So we shall see. In the meantime, I'm not qualified because I've stayed in trouble too much in the past year. And apparently you have to go without a community guideline strike for a year in order to qualify for your play button. So anyways, shalom, much love to everybody. All right. So last note is, if you didn't catch some of the previous streams, of course, today we're going to be talking about you may not fit in modern society if you believe the fallen. This is very important because no matter where you're at in your walk, there's going to start to be the clamps and the tentacles coming down harder and harder on everyone. Ever since the lockdowns, you should be mindful of these things. I talked about the great river Euphrates drying up, prophetic sign of last days. I think it's honestly one of the best streams ever done on here ever, because it is so concise to our time. And I, of course, shared a lot of my opinions and thoughts of how some of this may continue to play out off the evidences that I found. And then, of course, we've got planning a solid scriptural New Year's resolution, trying to hold tight to that resolution and keep moving forward with that currently. And then lastly, we've got a guide to surviving the New World Order in the end days. That was a really good stream, I thought, too. All right. So what we know, thank you, Robin. I appreciate it. It's been a journey to get here. The last thing is, guys, make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and after the stream, please stop back in and drop a comment, because that's what helps this channel grow. Okay. All right. And so to start out, we're told to obey. All right. That's what we're told in society, is to obey. Furthermore, most people don't know that when it comes to spiritual things and in the church house, let me take down this info thing right here for a second so everybody can read that right there, that the word church actually had a different meaning way back when, and that's why that we hear the word ecclesia or congregation instead, for those that are in the know. Okay, so to modern day society, the government's not your friend. Pharmaceutical drug sorcery is not your friend. The media is not your friend. Big oil, big tech. The church house is not on your side either. Okay. For the most part, there's very few fellowships out there that's actually for the kingdom anymore, even though people say they are. All right. And so the first thing, and let me see, guys, they have this new layout thing here, and I'm going to tinker with it for just a second. I'm going to move this one out of the way, and I'm going to minimize me and poke me over here in the corner. All right, so I don't know if everybody can see this. All right, I don't know if everybody can see that now, how the layout is, but anyway, I'm going to minimize myself down a little bit though on the screen for the minute, so you can see that then a little bit bigger, so I can actually visit with you as I'm talking. The first tenet that I would say is, if you believe in a divine creator, okay, you better believe. Yeah, Robert, actually, I've already had run-ins with people for even saying Yahushua, because people say J-E-S-U-S is the name, and that's it. That's the only name by people can be saved by. And I really think that you're on a good point right there out the gate, guys. And I'm going to interact with everybody today as I go through this. Like, I am in no hurry today. But that right there is well on point, because I don't know what it is. I mean, I do in a way, but I don't understand why it is this way. But you talk about the set apart names, flat earth, true Hebrews, scriptural calendar. These always set people off. All right. And, right here, if you believe in the divine creator and support the true name, I'm telling you what, you want to talk about some conflict with people, bro, some conflict. All right. And I get into it all the time. And you know what shuts it down with folks is I tell people, listen, if you're known as a certain way, but then I get to actually know you as an individual and I know your name's Bob, I'm going to start addressing you as Bob with respect, because now I actually know your name, so that I can respectfully honor that as so. And when I start saying things like that and explain to people that the J letter in English is only 600 years old, and that, it was actually IESUS, and that you can actually start going backwards and dismantling this thing, it triggers people. And so I'm going to tell you this one, immediately in society too today, if you're a person of faith, like, that puts you on the outs, like real faith starts putting you on the outs immediately. All right. Now, point number 2 I would make that definitely will put you on the outs with society is, if you believe in individual liberty. We are moving to a point where we are really going toward collectivism. Now, it's going to be fascist collectivism, because most people aren't about communism. All right. They're just not. And social communism, it just don't work, in my opinion. I mean, obviously it does, but in a terrible measure. Fascism, however, seems to be always where things tend to eventually lean toward, in my personal observation and opinion. Socialism always leads into fascism. Deep conservatism in certain ways can go to fascism. I mean, if you see Mr. Trump go back in office, boy, that should be quite the show of massive direction toward fascism immediately. And it's funny on here, people tell me that I'm such a Republican and a racist and stuff like that, but I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I have a libertarian mindset and support individual liberty. However, I know we all have to operate as a collective. Individual liberty is paramount. And so one of the things that you will definitely see moving forward in society is that liberty is being trampled on the individual. If you're not part of the collective, then you're not part of the club. And that is, to me, terrible, because just like this quote from Calvin Coolidge, you look at quotes from even presidents, you look at quotes from, just all sorts of different individuals that help write the Constitution and etc. And please keep in mind, as I say this, let me go full screen for this for just a second. As I say this, please keep in mind that I'm no longer a fan of the United States of America either, even though I was born here. That doesn't make me like patriotic anymore, because the more that I've done my studies and my due diligence to see that this country was built upon the destruction of the indigenous population, and then furthermore built on the backs of slaves from the transatlantic slave trade, which is also the descendants of the true Hebrew Israelites. That is disgusting to me at this point, and it makes me very sad at heart to know. I mean, when I say sad at heart to know, like France has always been France. Scotland's always been Scotland for the most part. I mean, Celtic people, whatever you want to say, everything kind of just had its thing. But America is just this just destructive force, and just I don't even know how to properly describe my viewpoint of the Americas anymore. Okay. That's interesting. All right. This ain't even the issue at hand. All right. These people don't want to save children. What it is so that you can no longer say my body, my choice when it comes to deleting the unborn or not taking a JAB. That's what this all boiled down to. And boy, it wasn't like 2-3 days later, it was in the news, laws being upheld to make sure people took a JAB. And I was like, there you go. I was like, but you see, if me being just a simple electrician and construction worker, and now turned crypto miner, and doing data center work and stuff, I can tell you just from my little understanding that if I was going to argue at this point that I don't want to take a JAB, the first tenet that I would have went off of was Roe v. Wade. I would have used that as that it is my body, my choice. And now that my body, my choice situation has been taken off the table, I would have a struggle arguing in court now why I don't want to take said things, other than the fact that it's my individual liberty, constitutional right, and I have the right to my body. But being that Roe v. Wade was overturned, it kind of leaves everything open on the table again now. And see, that's what I'm saying is it was much deeper than my body, my choice, as far as deleting the unborn. And I told people that, and it wasn't long. It wasn't, but days later, and all the haters and stuff, their mouths were stopped. I mean, just straight up, have not called hate speech over that anymore. But I'm telling you, like, this is something that you need to be mindful of, because if you value your DNA, you value your body, you value your safety of your soul, you're going to be on the outs with society anymore. And bold faith, you were right, brother. That is right there. Genesis 6 2.0 will not stop. They're going to keep going for it. Hey, Joy, that's a great point. That is an excellent point, that you are allergic to the ingredients. That's what you could tell people. Yeah, I love it. All right. A next thing is you value and believe in financial freedom. And as the, what is it? I think it's the Fed Now thing. That's what they're calling it. And then, of course, the CBDC, central bank digital currency. I think it's laughable but sad at the same time, is that I have strongly supported individual cryptocurrency and the privatization of it. And now the central banks around the world are moving toward a digital currency so that they can cut your hind end off if you ain't complying to the system. And I've warned people that, it's important to do your own crypto thing, because it is an opportunity to run a parallel society. Let me go to full screen for a second here and tell you something. Is when I was over in Germany for a while, and I went to Berlin and walked the wall, it's really mindful. It really puts it in your mind, and the importance of that. Those people that lived on the other side of the wall had to run a parallel society. I've talked about parallel society stuff in the past, that, being able to survive in a crazy, that is exactly what's being moved toward. And if you don't participate, there's a movie called INTIME, in Time. And it's Justin Timberlake, and I can't remember the the girl was in it, but anyway, that movie, right? This is what you're moving toward when you look at that. And I'm telling you, that is some serious stuff going on, because whenever they get this instituted, they are going to shut this deal out. If you're trying to buy and sell, they're going to shut you out. I mean, that's all there is to it. No doubt about it. And it just is what it is, guys, and I hate it so badly, but it's just the realization that we're moving toward. Okay. All right. Next up is, if you think for yourself. I know this one sounds absurd. This point actually on my checklist is one of the most absurd, would seem, but I'm telling you, like, the ability to cognitively function and think for oneself it's almost inconceivable anymore, because we have been trained from the time that we were younglings in kindergarten all the way moving forward, that we've been indoctrinated with so many viewpoints and stuff from the school indoctrination camp system, is that to actually cognitively think for oneself now is almost unthinkable. It's almost inconceivable. And, what we're going to be faced with in the future is that if you don't go with the Orwellian 1984 mindset and go with collectivism, you are going to be on the outs with the thought police, because we don't need people. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep going screen to screen, but we don't need people in this society that thinks for themselves. When you ask the elite at the top, matter of fact, they don't even want most people in society at all anymore. Look at the Georgia Guidestones before they got blasted, like 3 weeks before I went down there. And good thing I'd planned that out long before to go down there and visit that, because that was wild, dude. Like 3 weeks right before I went, that went down. Sorry, guys, let me turn my audio off, or my ringer off on my phone here. Got 2 note spots going on today here. But that was just unreal. That they blew that thing up, but nevertheless, I mean, their agenda's in motion now, and that's the direction's headed. And Robert, that's interesting. CBDC is going to start in Canada in April. Yeah, it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild, folks. And if you are a free thinker, if you are a person that uses the brain that the Most High Yah has granted you, and the conscience to focus, you're going to be in a pickle, because they don't want that. All right. Now, the next thing, point number 6 I would make, is they don't want you growing your own food. I just bought one of the Arrow Garden 24XL farms for hydroponic gardening. And the reason I've been buying those is because they're automated and you can Wi-Fi off your phone. I'm going to run it off the excess power that's not being used by the crypto mining during the daytime too and stuff. And so, long and short of it, when you consider upon the opportunity to grow your own food, I mean, there's a great book out there that it's like, I think it's called The 1 Acre Garden, and I need to buy it. It's one of the books that I don't actually have on my gardening bookshelf here in my library. But the thing with it is, at the end of the day, is that if you control the food, you control the person. If you control the fuel, you control the person. The new electric cars, they're apparently going to put kill switches in them, so that if you're in non-compliance, I guess they'll cut your car off too. So they'll cut your wallet off, cut your car off, cut your food off. They'll just cut you off. And see, that's the thing, guys. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep going squirrel here back and forth on the screen. That's the thing that you've got to understand, is you got to look at the world and fit the world into the scripture, not the scripture into the world. And so when I look at it, I'm like, no man might buy nor sell save he that hath the mark. I'm like, all right, so they're going to cut me off from buying and selling. How are they going to do that? Well, okay, if they cut my wallet off, they cut my power off, they cut my vehicle off, and they cut me off from buying food, I'm not able to buy and sell, because I'm completely ostracized from society. And that is the situation. Gosh, that's the situation. And that Sylvia, I see your comment in there, and some folks talking about that is terrible, hon, what they done to you. I am so sorry. And much love to you too as well, brother. And like, I guess my drop off with this is you've got to look at it is that they don't really have to force you to do anything. You understand that? Like, there's ways of war of attrition on people. There's ways of forcing you to do something without actually forcing you to do something. And so you need to be mindful of this, okay? And so one of the things is that if you determine to grow your own food, heirloom seeds, and garden and produce your own needs and things like that, like you're in a struggle. And would love to see an updated collaboration between you and Tito. Hey, I don't know if I've ever seen them, but hey, have them hit me up. And yeah, I'm so sorry, sis. That is terrible. Y'all help you and be with you on that. That is just terrible what they done. And so moving forward on this, the next linchpin in that goes with it, point number 7, is if you harvest your own water. Listen, I literally know that, like, what was it, Washington State, a guy had water accumulate on his land, and they came out and chewed him out about it because it belonged to the property of the state. So then he made dammed it up and made a pond out of it or something, and then he got in a pickle. And then eventually they hauled him off to jail, the best I remember. And it was a mess. And I mean, bro, just my heart goes out to people that we live in a time where that you're going to have to hide that you have collected water. I mean, are you freaking kidding me? I mean, we got to hide that we collected water. I mean, that to me is just mind-boggling. I mean, absolutely mind-boggling that you're telling me that the water that goes into the air and then collects back down on the earth, that somebody says that they have a deed to that, right? Or that they hold that as property. I mean, people have lost their minds. I mean, like, listen, I'm going to be straight with y'all, is that I'm to the point where that if it wasn't that the Torah said do not kill or murder people, there's some people that I would gladly do it for free. Okay. And I just said that live. I can't take that back. Okay. But I'm not out here going to do crime. All right. I'm just telling you, like, I have no intention of hurting people. Like, matter of fact, that person that went in and shot up that school the other day, shout out to them officers for clapping that person. That was just terrible. But I'm telling you, like, I wouldn't even say the word murder. There is some wicked people that need to be put down out here that try to control all our food, trying to jab us and kill us. Like, they're actually trying to murder us. So putting them in the dirt is actually doing the world a service and actually getting rid of murderers. So I think I actually need to reword that, and I'm just telling you guys, like, I mean no ill will toward anybody, but I am getting absolutely sick of what's going on. I know where it's headed is that, like when I started my Black Flag crypto mining, the reason I have a pirate flag up with crossed swords and an eye patch that's Bitcoin, because I know that'll become an act of piracy eventually, what that crypto mining is. It will eventually be, shunned out here in this country, I think, just like China did in its country. I really do. And what's annoying to me is apparently United States of America government actually holds a ton of Bitcoin, as does the Chinese government, but yet the individual person with individual liberty will be ostracized not to hold that. Sis, I'll have to check that out. I'm still trying to catch up emails. I just get bombarded with emails, but like, I mean, it's going to come down to it that I worry, like, at some point I'm going to go from a person that's never been a criminal, never done wrong to anybody that I know of, tried my best. And when I say wrong, I mean just like something evil. I mean, I'm sure I've not been nice to people or things like that along the way, but I mean, like, just serious stuff. It's going to go from me never have done anything wrong to anybody to being an absolute criminal, just because I will not participate in terrible deeds and acts that is being done to the collective of the human race. I don't want no part in it. And that's just terrible. And Father, please forgive me. I don't want I just pray he protects me during that time, that I don't want to break his Torah, and I don't want to, dishonor him in any way. And it's going to be hard for us to fit in society. Now, the next thing I would say is, and let me make sure I didn't go too many. Oh, I did. I'm sorry. I went a slide forward too quickly. Is point number 8, I would say, is that you want to produce your own power. Okay. And that's another thing, is the so-called laws of man. There should be many out here in the world today that loves and appreciates those that love Yah and keep his Torah, because I don't care about man's law. The only thing that keeps me from doing many, many, many things, you literally have no idea. You don't really know me. Okay. I'm just saying, there is things that have kept me from doing certain things. It's not man's laws. I don't even care. It's the Torah that kept me from doing A, B, and C at this point. It is the only safety check that is keeping me from not doing certain things in the dark of the night at this point. I'm telling you, like, you have no idea, folks. No idea. So anyway, moving on. The next thing we have here is to be able to collect your own power. They do not, the big oil, electric companies, the whole works, they do not want you to, bro, I'm feeling you. Y'all know where I'm at with this. All right. But, the ability to harvest your own energy, this is something now, big tech, big oil, big electric, they don't want you doing this. All right. Now I'm telling you, you have no idea how hard it's going to get. Like, let me tell you something. Let me pop off here again. What point are we on, by the way? We are on 9. Yeah, this should be, or 8. I'm sorry, guys. Let me pop big screen here for a second. I specifically, now I haven't videoed this yet, but and another reason I'm just doing so many side missions. You will see eventually, I'm doing this off-grid crypto mining building that is fully power self-contained, like the whole thing, the whole roof of it's nothing but panels. And I built the whole thing portable, so that right now on the laws on the books, I have a portable, non-taxable business other than capital gains tax, that if I needed to move it to some other place and set up shop, all I need to do is pay somebody rent and move it. And then I can literally do the crypto mining from anywhere, practically. And I'm telling you, you've got to get smart on this stuff. You've got to make sure your business enterprise is mobile. You can be mobile if you need to. Everything you've invested that's important to you can be mobile. Your assets can be mobile, because I'm telling you, they're getting smart about this stuff. They're going to shut you out one way or another. All right. Now, number 9, moving into this point, is that, crypto, I catch so much heat on here now about promoting crypto mining, promoting owning crypto. Folks, I pay my groceries. I pay my bills. I went to the movies the other day. I'm sorry. Right now, I'm in a pickle on cash this week. I might overdraft in my regular bank account because so much stuff's coming out. And then, of course, the water heater broke, washer dryer broke. I mean, it was just boom, 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 boom. And, I work a regular 9 to 5 like everybody else now. And so I'm kind of tight on cash. I may have to cash out some crypto to fill in my bank account. This is an opportunity right now that if you can do it off grid, okay, it's a 2-part process. If you mine crypto and you do it off grid where it don't cost you anything, and you cash it out consistently, and then you write that off on taxes too, all the investment of doing this, set it up as a business or an LLC, whatever you need to do. I have a business licensed for mine, Black Flag Crypto Mining Data Center. And you mark this stuff off. This is an opportunity to build some residual wealth or backup funds. And the government knows this. Matter of fact, as I pointed out before, if somebody wanted to meet somebody and buy a nuclear missile and they paid in pirate coin person to person, the only 2 people going to know who bought that nuclear missile is the person that paid the other person, and that's it. Okay? And so I know they're going to clamp down on this stuff. I mean, me being a simple person that doesn't require massive understanding to do what I've done, most people that have any analytical skills are going to try to take advantage of this moving forward, and especially as crypto grows. Oh, thank you, Robin. It's a work in progress. I'm going to do some video on it to help people see an example of what I've done. how to copy that so that Jens can do that as well in the years ahead, because it'll be helpful. And so, like, because here's the thing, when they pull the plug and you can't crypto mine no more, fine, forget them. Just put it toward using as backup power for your home or your farm, right? So anyway, they're going to wrap the tentacles around, and they're going to shut this down on as much as possible, or tax you into the dirt on crypto. It's going to come, folks, and you need to be mindful of this. Now, I will say this: I don't think crypto is going to go away. I think that this right here is going to be the one tool to have to run a parallel society in the near future against the beast system, other than trading out services for services. I really think so. And that's just where I'm at with it. Now, let me put my face on here. It's public knowledge. Just freaking Google 20 seconds. All right. Okay. Checker, right? Like, that is what a real conspiracy theorist definition should be, because this is what the actual definition is: a noun. It says a theory that rejects the standard explanation for event, instead credits a covert group or organization will carry out a secret plot. A belief that a particular unexplained event was caused by such a covert group. What you mean, like trains derailing and like food plants getting hit by planes out of the sky consistently? And yeah, I mean, who knew? The idea that many important political events or economic and social trends are the products of deceptive plots that are largely unknown to the general public. You mean like the Bilderberg Group and certain things that's come to light that they're fully intention to jab everybody to depopulate society, but yet it's actually out there and known by the public now? No, I mean, never. Listen, guys, this is where we're at, is that, you're going to be labeled a conspiracy theorist if you if you open your eyes and literally critical think, think for yourself, like one of my first points I said. But the thing is that because that you don't go with the social construct, and because that you see it for what it is, this will be the default mechanism for what people will prescribe you as is a conspiracy theorist when the time comes. All right. Now, oh boy, hold on tight for this one. If you are pro creationist, as far as procreation in the proper capacity, and I support monogamous marriage, I support polygynous marriage, which is one man with multiple women. And I'll tell you why I don't support polyamorous marriage, is because if you have one woman with multiple men, she is actually being damaged by having multiple sexual partners. It actually damages her brain. And furthermore, you're going to have mixed and mingled seed, and the men are not going to actually physically know properly whose kid is who. I'm just saying, like, there's actually, if you look at the empirical scientific data on this, the only thing that works is monogamy and polygyny. One man with multiple women. As a matter of fact, the house of Yisrael was built on the womb of 4 women. Just saying. All right, we know nobody won't be talking about that. I have no problem to have multiple wives. Matter of fact, my wife tomorrow said, you know what, have another wife. I'm totally down for it, just for the fact of having more children. I wish I had 20 kids right now. I have a son and a daughter at 36. I wish by the time I was 90, I had like 27 kids. I kid you not, because those are the greatest treasures in my life. My children are my absolute treasure in this life, under being my wife and having salvation. But somebody just checked out, couldn't handle it. And so that's just facts. And so here's the deal. What is it? I'll tell you in just a second. Bestiality, pedophilia, homosexuality, these don't fly. And if you don't support this and you tell people you don't support that and the LGBTQ plus 1, 2, 3 community, which by the way, shot up a school the other day, transgenderism. Listen, when people tell you that they're transgender, now I got to be careful, man, and I'm about to get in the community guidelines track gray area here, is that when people tell you that they're transgender, and somebody said the other day that this is, it was actually somebody running for political candidacy, is said that that is actually a mental health condition. And, you know, here's the deal. Whenever you start getting into the LGBTQ plus community stuff, you are getting into some wild west stuff. All right. I'm telling you, like they out there in left field, folks. Not just need to stay away from it. So if you support monogamous marriage or polygynous marriage, then you have you're definitely going to be on the outside. You see, look, by the time you're 90, you'd be exhausted. Is it safe to be inside? Oh, I wouldn't worry about being inside around that. I mean, there's plenty of other things putting off EMFs in you. You know, our phone's probably worse than being around off-grid power or something on some of that. But oh yeah. And listen, this Western culture we live in, though, folks, if you notice, homosexuality is promoted. Actually, let me go full screen for a second because people's going to hate speech me. I want to make sure I'm fully hate speech for going full in on this. Is that right now there is laws being passed. I think it was in Canada was the most recent, promoting bestiality. There is laws being passed to promote pedophilia, which I think is just sick, bro. That Joel Epstein-ish. That is the most sick junk. I'm not interested in children. All right. I don't know what the flip is wrong with people, but, and then, moving forward up on that, you got the situation with, where was I going with? Oh yeah. The LGBTQ plus community. You have all sorts of TV shows promoting mixed marriages or divorced families, but you do not see, melanated family, a husband and a wife promoted in a healthy family dynamic. You don't, matter of fact, you don't even see a white family anymore promoted healthy dynamic. They're divorced. They got issues, or she's at Chad and Tyrone's house on the weekend, getting her thing done when her husband don't know. I mean, you just don't see monogamous or polygynous marriage promoted. You see anything else that doesn't produce a physical human being, but you don't see those promoted. All right. And bold faith, here's where I'm at with that. I don't care that people have multiple wives. My problem I have is those that are at like extreme high positions of power, like in a community of faith, and they're supposed to be like the bishops and let me say the head of an assembly, like way up, and they've got multitude of people under them. I don't know how in the world you can manage a fellowship or manage other elders, and you too busy taking care of 4 and 5 women. I'm just saying. I don't even know how that you can multitask that. And matter of fact, Paul even speaks against that. So yeah, that's a whole thing in of itself right there. So moving forward of that, let me get off that subject because I know people really get triggered when you start talking about polygyny. But here's the deal. Luke takes all the scripture. I'm 100% committed to the cause. So I take it all as a whole. But the whole reason I actually droned in on that today and triggered people intentionally is because it's that it produces human beings. And right now, as part of this depopulation agenda, they want you to do everything they can. Go have intimacy with a sheep. Go have intimacy with somebody of your same sex. Go have intimacy with a minor. But they don't want you to actually have intimacy with someone that you should be having intimacy with that can actually produce a human being. That's the agenda. That's why I'm trying to say, if you actually speak the things like, I mean, as soon as I start talking on this, people left the building. And I did this intentionally to show you that what I'm saying is on point. And yeah. No, I mean, I get what you're saying, bro. And here's the thing, though. If you tried to have polygynous relationship in this dynamic, in this world that we're living in right now, people would shun you. They'd talk you like a dog. I mean, they'd absolutely blast you. And I believe mass sterility will be the sign then all souls have to be born before this. Yeah, mass sterility is coming, especially with all the JAB. And all right, moving forward from that, now that we've triggered some folks, is the next thing would be is you support the Constitution. Now, I want to tenet this is that it's Jules, I would be real careful on that commentation of that, because if that's so, then you're taking a serious issue with how the whole nation of Yisrael was created. Just saying. I'll leave that where it lies. So moving on. The Constitution. Now, when you look at this, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, oh man, guys, I don't mean to keep going, squirrel. That right there, that is so true. Matter of fact, I pointed it out to you guys recently that I heard this one guy talking on a stream or whatever. It was on a stream or a meme thing. Said that on dating websites, they have it now where that they won't even allow you to say, no, I'm not jabbed. Is that I'm considering it. I haven't done it yet. I'm partially jabbed. I'm fully jabbed. They literally have that on dating sites now for people. And I heard a guy talking about it recently, but they didn't allow you to say, no, I'm a clean DNA person. They would not allow you to do that. It would just hide your status on your profile. Pretty wild. All right. And so when you look at the Constitution, the men that wrote this, I believe in my heart, and the heart is deceptive though, but I will say, to the best intent at the time and the knowledge they had at the time, they meant this well for people. I will say this, that they did exclude individuals and certain groups of people, and it was not collectively for the collective at the time. I will say that this doesn't benefit the Native American. It didn't benefit the so-called black man. I'm just going to listen, guys. You're going to get it always straight here at Luke's House of Truth. All right. And, but if we look at the Constitution's tenets, we can find in alignment certain things that they were inspired from Scripture. Looking at Scripture, carried that over to this document. And the thing is, I don't mind following man's law as long as it does not interfere with the Most High Yah's law. And we are moving toward a point where that, just as in the church house, you'll see pastors and people say, well, just lay aside 10 commandments. Don't worry about it, blah, blah. Is that, you can see here where that they're kind of just laying aside the Constitution now and just going for this worldly new world order setup. And the thing is that annoys me the worst living in so-called United States of America, and I will start referring to it as the so-called United States of America, because we're not united at all, is that states are actually having to pass laws to protect them anymore against federal laws that's being passed. That's how whack it's getting. Like, there's literally a Civil War 2.0 without physical violence right now. Kentucky just passed laws the other day to protect the firearms because of laws being passed federally, or the ATF or whatever. And that's a story for another time. But my point in case is that things are getting unhinged. And if you actually say, listen, I got pulled over by an officer. All right. Let's go story time with Lucas real quick. And guys, this stream may run over an hour today because we're on slide 12 and we got 20. Let me go full screen a second. So let me tell you story time with Lucas. I got pulled over by a police officer. I was 100% in the wrong. Okay. I didn't have my seatbelt on. And you know what, buddy? I didn't want to freaking put my seatbelt on. Not today, not tomorrow, not evermore. All right. And so I got pulled over, and I put my seatbelt on before he got up there to pull me over. And he come up to the window and he's like, you didn't have that on whenever you passed by me. Now, me being me, that defiant guy, I just sat there and I was like, kind of like, burden of proof's on you, bro. Well, long and short of it, he eventually writes me a ticket, and me and him have a long discord about freedoms and rights and Constitution, etc. And when he left me, he was upset and unhinged. And I don't care about his feelings. Here's the deal. There is so many laws and statutes and ordinances and all this crap that's getting passed that it is literally, we already live in a totalitarian system. You just don't really see it on a billboard. Like, the foundational principles are already in place. You could flip a switch tomorrow and be Orwell's 1984 overnight. I mean, seriously, that's how far we're gone, and people don't see it. But when you even begin to point out to law officials, like most police officers, they cannot even tell you the Constitution. They can't tell you the Bill of Rights. They can't tell you anything. So when you lay the hammer down on them about your rights and meet them right there where the rubber meets the road, you will either be beat down, facing the curb, cuffed, and hauled off for 24 hours, even though you're going to get to walk 24 hours later. They literally, it's just a mess. And so you're not going to be welcome in society in the near future if you support that. Now, moving to the next point. Point number 13 is if you support the literal scriptures. All right. Literally, you say, listen, thus saith Yahweh. This is what the word says. All right. You're going to be on the outs with people, because people don't care anymore what the scripture says. Most people, right? I mean, it's just is what it is. And I don't care. The thing is like I pointed out to a brother in faith the other day, we were talking, I said, people of other religions, like if you went to the church house today, you'd hear the pastor say G-O-D, G-O-D. You come to church and I'd be the pastor, you'd be hearing the Most High, all praise be unto him. Like, I know who my master is, right? Now, he may disown me one day and send me the burn pile because I didn't operate satisfactory, but that's who I assign my allegiance to, not Satan Incorporated. So when you go to the church house, though, you hear G-O-D, 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 blah, blah, blah. And I said, but the Hindus know who their deity is. I said, Flip, I can tell you who the Hindus' deity is. And I don't even worship as the Hindus do. I can tell you who Islam's deity is. I can tell you who everybody else's deity is by name. However, I'm not going to break Torah because I'm going to take the false deity's name into my mouth on my lips. However, though, I know who they are. But we live up in this United States of America. We're supposed to be the so-called Christian rock of the nation, of the world, right? And we don't even know who our master is. It's crazy. And and that is so true, y'all's favorite daughter. Let me tell you, me and an elder, I actually should say, was speaking the other day. And we were talking about that, and he's like, I don't know everything. I was like, well, I'm going to tell you straight up, I don't know everything. Matter of fact, the more time goes by, the more I see, the more I've figured out that I didn't have it all together. Okay. But what I do know, I'm going to definitely try to walk it out. And we living in a time where the Bible, the scripture itself, is just like side notes to people. They just set it aside and just roll with whatever. And that's really where we've arrived at on that. And if you go around, you tell people, hey, listen, right here, it is written, and this is where it's at, bro. Even with people so-called of faith, you're going to be on the outs. All right. I'm going to speed up a little bit here, keep this moving. All right. Next up is land. Being able, if you support the ability to own your own land. Now, I need to take the banner down for just a second so everybody can see this. All right. Is if you want to have a land trust, the LLC owns the land, and then say I'm the trustee or my dad, and then my son would be the beneficiary. I'd be a trustee of it or whatever. You're moving into a time where that they don't want you to own anything. You don't want anyone to own anything, because that gives freedom, that gives security, that gives liberty. These are terrible, blasphemous words to the New World Order. They don't want no part of this. Yeah, oh, absolutely. What is my homeboy's name that was part of the Freemasons? Oh, man, Albert Pike. Yeah. Oh, Mr. Pike, getting it done since 1800s. I say my homeboy, listen, I ain't got nothing to do with Freemasons, Illuminati, but I'm just hate speeching on them. But yeah, that's it. Always since 1800s. Your point on with that, brother. But moving forward on this is, they don't want you to have anything to do with owning land. And Robert, we're going to touch on that point here toward the end. Yep. I'm with you on it. It's going to come to America too. It's a matter of time. Now it'll be via red tape more than it'll be of physically just taking them away. It will literally be a massive red tape-a-thon that to even own a firearm anymore. And the disqualification process will get more and more and more too. So when you look at it and you want to make sure you own your own land, you're going to be on the outs of modern society because, as Mr. Klaus Schwab said at the World Economic Forum, you will own nothing and you will be happy, and you will eat cockroaches and grasshoppers, and we will tell you what to do. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Red Shady 3 and Y. You got it. Own nothing, you'll be happy. Yes, it's Mr. Klaus Schwab of the new Nazi fascist party 2.0. So man, it's crazy stuff. Oh yeah, Joy, you're right. David had a bunch of wives. Solomon had a ton of wives, concubines. And here's the thing, guys. I'm not even looking at it. Let me looking for this too. Is I'm not even looking at that just as like just, I won't even say intimacy or for pleasurable activities. I'll just say for the fact of literally producing human beings, physically non-damaged DNA human beings. They ain't about this noise no more. That's why I don't care about monogamy. I don't care about polygyny. They ain't having it, folks. All right. So moving forward, the Fourth Reich. There you go. Anarchy tattoo. All right. So point 15. Now, here's one that I really want to hone in on for a minute, because this is you can see the tenets of free will being pushed throughout. All right. We have the free will opportunity to serve Mosiah or not. And I cannot tell you how sick I get of being told that I'm a Republican. And nobody calls me a Democrat. Now, that's funny. Nobody calls me a liberal or Democrat because they know I am massively free will intended. But for some reason, I still get slapped in with the Republicans, and I am not a Republican. I don't adhere to either party's principle. And I'll tell you just straight off the number one disqualifiers: Democratic, Libertarian, or liberal Democrat Party. And I always say liberal because, listen, whether you claim to be a liberal or not, if you're a Democrat, you're a liberal. Just facts. Because the murdering of babies, infanticide, that is the number one sin of you wicked people. Like, if you go and you put your name on a list and you say, I'm a Democrat, I'm telling you straight up today, you are a wicked, evil person. And I'll tell you why. Because you went and supported people that are doing the most debaucherous, wicked, evil crime. You know, the Most High Yah dealt with Israel over murdering babies, all right, to burning them to MOLOCH, which is actually SATURN if you really do your deep dive. And now, so I'm going to just tell you, I don't care if I offended people in here today. If you say you're a Democrat and you're a liberal, you are a wicked soul, period. Luke just judged you. And I'll tell you what, I judged righteous judgment because that you supported a collective that collectively murders babies. All right. Now, when it comes to Republicans, I don't have no interest in the Republican Party because it's actually full of fascist people as the most part. It has a lot of racist people in it, whether they want to say it or not. They're privately racist. I've seen it. I've dealt with people. They come in multiple colors too. Multiple melanin shades in the Republican Party, full of racist people. So I'll just say that. But the biggest tenet I have with them that makes me just shun them away is they're only for the wealthy. They say they're for the poor and for the middle class and all this, but they are about money. They're in my opinion, in my assessment, their God is the dollar bill. That's who they really worship. And so that's where I'm at with it. So if you're a Republican or Democrat, shout out to y'all. I probably offended everybody. Yeah, I don't vote anymore either, Joey, because my king is Yahushua HaMashiach, and that's the only one I'll bend the knee to. I'm just currently stuck in this regime. All right, so moving forward, this one I'll definitely trigger everybody too out there in the woke community. Is there's only two genders, right? There is only two genders. And point 16 I would make today is if you're in society today, you won't belong is if you have, like I said, just to cover on last point, if you have a libertarian free will mindset, we're on the outs, especially on the political spectrum. I actually took a political test where it has the four-way cross graph, and I literally landed right smack dab in a libertarian mindset. Not communist, not fascist, and I forget the other one, socialist, whatever. It literally landed right on. And matter of fact, my friend landed there and my wife landed there too. And I was like, that speaks volumes to me right there. I mean, we were off by like literally a dot or two on this huge spectrum. Oh, and if for those that are curious, they did a political test on I think it was on all the politicians, even Democrat and Republican, that's in office right now. They done a test on that. It was in a news article, I think. And like 30% of them ended up fascist, 20% of them ended up communist. A lot of chunk ended up in the libertarian area, and what's the other? And the socialist. Oh, of course, a bunch of them landed socialist. But it was actually almost a four-way split. That was weird to me when I seen that on that spectrum. But anyway, moving forward, there's only two genders. I don't care what people say, unless that due to some medical diagnoses that you were born with both parts, or a few other situations that may just be out there on the spectrum as well when it comes to genders. There is only two genders. Otherwise, it's anatomy thing, biological. I wouldn't say freak. It's just people's anatomy is a little bit different as far as being born. But there's only two genders. So if you need to go into the bathroom, shut the door privately, take a look in the mirror. You're either a male if you have a member attached to you, or if you don't have a member attached to you, you're a female. And that's free biological advice that you can get today there. It's free anatomy class, no charge on that. You're welcome. And if you're confused any bit, that's where it comes from. Let me see what somebody said here. Robin said, don't hate on me, people, but I'm leaving my husband and Jab just can't be around him anymore. It's sad. I hate it. It's the situation where we're at on some things, and much loved, y'all. I know, guys, everybody's going through stuff. Listen, I've been through divorce. It's not fun. It's just not fun. Okay. All right. So next point, number 17, and we'll be wrapping this up. Yeah. All right. Number 17 is, I'm so sick of the woke movement. Listen, when it was Black Lives Matter thing was going on, I was like, what is the agenda behind this? And it turned out that it was lesbians, I believe it was, that actually started the Black Lives Matter thing. It was about money, from what I understood from my assessment, and they never contributed to the actual movement. It was just a money grab. Then you have the my body, my choice thing, going on for all these years. And it was, obviously it wasn't really about people being able to choose. It was just about murdering children. And I could give my assessment on a lot of these things. Absolutely. Black people's lives matter. Asian people's lives matter. Chinese, white man, Mexican, indigenous, native people, when they were being murdered to set up this corrupt government. Yeah, they mattered then. They still matter now too. Just FYI too. I mean, if we want to go woke, let's go Luke's woke. I can give you some real woke, and you won't like my woke, because I'll go back to the foundation of this country and I'll just tell you what's sideways from the get. But the problem I have with woke culture is this issue I have with YouTube is that when YouTube got bought out by Google, it is okay if I support certain agendas. That's okay. But if I speak certain things over here, that's not okay. Now, I know this is not a free speech platform, and that's fine. My problem is the tenets that are pushed by all media anymore. I didn't wear my defund the media shirt today. I wore my straight out of flat earth shirt today. All right, for the last point on this thing, just to give you a little caveat, spoiler alert, is that we are in a point where that it's like if I don't support a movement, I'm a bad person in society. And it's like, I of course support I'll take the Black Lives Matter. That's the one I'm going to run with on this. Of course, I think Black Lives Matter. I have one of the most watched history documentaries about the true background of the transatlantic slave trade individuals that live in this country now, their descendants, that they're the descendants of the true Hebrew Israelites. It's in the millions, folks. So for me to sit here and somebody say, well, Luke doesn't support Black Lives, that can't be possible at this point, because I gave one of the most honest documentaries that I think has ever been produced on the true Hebrews. All right. So, but on the same tenet, how in the world am I going to put a Black Lives Matter shirt on when I know that it's owned by lesbians, and that the money from what I could from my research and that what was put out there on the web is, and then that they never took that money and supported their own so-called community with it. Like, what the flip? And then like you go over to and I don't even want to get into the gay thing and all that stuff, like oh my gosh, when we're talking woke stuff, I just want to touch on the child abortion thing, because I listen, I am as anti-abortion as you get. Like, I'm telling you what, like, these people that kill babies, if you make it in the kingdom, I seriously got to send in a customer service questionnaire and ask somebody in the new kingdom why these people are here. Because I just think if you murder babies, you have no place in the new kingdom. And that's, that's just Luke being judgmental today. But you know what? I mean, like, this murdering babies and stuff, it is just insanity. And anybody that supports that, I'm like, if I have to support somebody going and murdering a child to be okay to be a member of this society, then count me the flip out, because I am not. And now I think it's funny on you people that support murdering babies. I think it is great that you all can't go murder them now. And I think it's going to be even better when you have to go fight for your actual life to not get jabbed now like the rest of us, because my body, my choice thing is off the table now. So you ain't going to be killing babies no more, and you best not be focusing on that. You better be focused on protecting your literal soul and your DNA, because we're all in the fight of our life now. Okay. So all your Roe v. Wade days are over. Okay. So you can go hold the sign, my body, my choice, all you want now. Them days are done, baby. Them are cooked eggs. All right. It's straight fire. Thank you for your dedication and love for all of the Most High Father Yah's people. Oh, absolutely. Love everybody, guys. Listen, love everyone. All right. Now, number, what are we on? Number 18 is you don't want a cashless society. Now, I talked about the digital bank currency already. And now this is a different animal that we're talking about right here, is that you're going to be into a point soon where that your assets, listen, I don't know how many times that my bank has locked me out of spending money. It is absolutely being, and that is true. Me and the elder talked about that the other day, that what I know, and I know a lot of stuff, so I'm going to be held accountable to it. But for some people, they don't know much. So to him to know, do better, do it not, that is sin. That's what Scripture says, I believe, is what, in 1 John. So, like I try to measure that and meet that out. Now, what I'll say is when people openly participate in known wickedness, like you don't have to even be a person of faith to look at a child, an innocent child, and be like, should this child live or die? That is not rocket science. That child should live 100% out of 100%. And so it's things like that I just have zero chill. Okay. And if that makes me a bad guy, then I'll just be a bad guy with joyfulness of heart. But the payments and you're being able to buy and sell, if you support the cash is king kind of thing and support being able to use your own currency kind of thing and stuff, you are going to be ostracized from society soon, because it is getting to the point where that, especially during Rona time, is that you could not use cash. And I got a good one for you. Is coming up, as me and my wife has discussed, that when the time comes and the crap hits the fan, is that you're going to have a situation at hand that you're not going to be able to probably DoorDash, have your groceries dropped off, get fuel in your fuel tank, unless you've took said thing. And the cashless society system builds toward the foundation for the CBDC to take place. Because I'm going to tell you what's going on is Rome is burning. It's just burning differently to the past. It's burning in segmentations. And people just don't see it until when we finally standing in an ash cloud. Then it's going to be clear that we are in a totalitarian environment, and there is people that are in the financial sector with great knowledge, like that I could tell you right now, you need X amount of power on your roof to run your batteries, to run your loads, blah, blah, blah. I can tell you that because I'm I would say, master electrician at this point. And I'm almost 40 years old and I've been doing this a long minute. I would say I've pretty much mastered my trade at this point, y'all willing. But now with this deal here, right? What you're going to be looking at is that where these financial people are saying, listen, I'm a master trader at financials and stuff like this, and we're moving toward a totalitarian situation where that if you don't comply or blah blah blah, they're going to take your money away. Like that should raise red flags. That should absolutely raise red flags big time. Man, shout out to you, Anarchy Tattoo. That is a story right there. And listen, it's going to get worse the next time. Uh, oh man, bro, that is just wow. And that's going to happen. That's going to happen. And yeah, JD Israel. Shout out JD. I know he's been in this stream for a long time. So that's why they want everything controlled by AI, because AI does not use empathy to make a decision. Absolutely. And this is the thing too. What you're seeing progressively moving forward cannot take place and transpire at least till after 2025, most likely, because they've warned us since like 2012, 2013. I know at least 2015 that 10 years later AI would be fully autonomous. I mean, there's so much articles on it. There's so much out there, and I'm sure it's already functional. I'm sure the rollout just ain't going to be fully until then. And so you've got this at play. Okay. And so, that is, there's that. And then point 19 is the Second Amendment. Now, I know I've already talked about the Constitution, but the right to even protect yourself anymore. I'm not even talking about bearing arms at this point. I'm going knee deep. I'm talking about even being able to carry a knife, even being able to protect your being. We are moving into a strange, sick of hearing about it paradigm where that you can't protect yourself anymore, but yet transgender, mentally confused people can go into a Christian school and shoot people up with an AR, but you can't have protection for yourself. Like that's where we're at. Listen, criminals are always going to get weapons. And that's why later in life, I fear that I will be so-called a criminal for not giving into the tenets of this evil society that's coming about. And then I'll have to try to have weapons and protection because I'm a criminal, even though I didn't do anything wrong. And like it's just terrible. And long and short of it, we're going to be ostracized in society if you support protecting yourself and your family. You're going to be put on the outs. And it is just what it is, guys. I mean, it's the sad reality in which we live in. All right. And guys, just a quick reminder to everybody, because we're about to wrap up the stream for today. Please make sure to like the like button. You can stop what you're doing right now. Click the like button. Subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell for all notifications. And if you'd like to support this channel financially, links in the video description below. Much love to you. Appreciate that. Where people's donated, that's helped fund this event we're doing on the 5th for meetup. So, I appreciate everybody when they donate. It helps it not come out of my pocket constantly. Guys, make sure to drop a comment on this stream after the show's over. Okay. All right. The last tenet, and I'm going to drop. For the flat earth, it is they sell it actually as a poster that you can put on the wall too, which is pretty neat. A shout out to you, Robin. Much love to you. Thank you for the donation to the channel. Matter of fact, let me write your name down. I'm working on this this banner thing to put up on the show for people that's donated. I'm trying to make sure to get people's name on there whenever they do that. It's something I'm working on a StreamYard thing to put on here now that we've got it where that you can do a lot of that stuff. Shabbat Shalom, fam. Today was great. No trolls, I think. Yeah, I agree. I agree too. I don't think there was a single troll in the building today. which is absolutely mind-boggling and shocking. But guys, you know, I'm gonna drop out of this. Let me see. All right. And so, you know, like this is this pretty much is where that I would say that if you follow any of these tenets and support them, welcome to being ostracized from society. You know, like guys, as I've said it lately, and I continue to say it, it is sad that it is so easy to sit down and have these conversations. I've went an hour and 11 minutes with just my notepad in front of me to remind me where we were at on the slides. And that's it. Like, I mean, the fact that I can tell you this stuff off the top of my head, it's just sad. It's sad, unhinging, and demoralizing. And I encourage everyone during this time to spend time with your family, worship the Most High, especially enjoy the festival, Passover, and unleavened bread coming up for those that honor the Father's calendar and His appointed times. You know, really, really think to yourself, what matters to me if I only had today to live? What do I need to be doing? Prioritize those things because we are so close to the end. And I'm talking, we're in years now. I don't believe in decades. I appreciate that, David Samuels. I really appreciate that. And here's the thing, guys. I was lied to for many years on that. Like, and here's the thing. I spent a lot of time on a Father's calendar and keeping the commandments and the true names and things, that when I finally put 2 and 2 together with the National Geographic thing, and then there was, I'm trying to think, it was E.L. I'm trying to think of the guy's YouTube. I just saw something in passing one day, sparked my interest to further study that out. Man, I really hate that Yoel is J-O space, just a space, not like the little bar down bottom, just a space, and then E-L, all uppercase. Yoel. I seen a video he had done. It was about the true Hebrews, and then I put 2 and 2 together with some of my research, went deep diving with some more, and then I was like, all right, I'm making a documentary about this because this is facts at this point. And but you know, guys, I love everybody. It's sad that we live in a time that it's starting to become a reality to me too, that, you know, like if I'm not careful in my life at this point forward, like we've all been kind of on a cruise control, but at this point we're going to have to be really, really careful moving forward, that we're guarding our soul and our steps, because we are at the finish line. And we are definitely at the finish line. So guys, I'm gonna dip out of here. I'm gonna spend time with my wife and my daughter today, and hopefully maybe see my son later today if he's free up. And I love everyone. I want to see things go well, but we're in dark times, and we're at the last days, and it is what it is. And so you can either walk the line or you can join the collective. It's up to you. But guys, as always, till we see you again here at 7 Trumpets Prepper Channel, hope Most High Yah Baruch you and keep you, make His face shine upon you, show you favor, and give you shalom, my friends, in Yahushua name. Love everybody. See you on the next stream.